Today I want to talk to you about extreme ownership. It's a mindset. And it's from Jocko Willink and in his book Extreme Ownership. And it's a way of life for you to move through. And there's 12 key leadership concepts of this. You can do these 12 leadership concepts on yourself as an individual to live with extreme ownership, or in an organization or your business. You can put these into your business and have these key leadership concepts to move you forward and to flourish as a company. When we understand extreme ownership, a true leader takes 100% ownership of everything in his or her domain, including the outcome of the tasks and everything each task affects. So ownership is the fundamental building block of leadership. And when something goes wrong, a true leader doesn't blame, they don't make excuses, they put their ego aside, and they take full responsibility for the outcome. They understand if someone on their team didn't do their task correctly, they didn't clearly articulate it correctly, they didn't get commitment from them, or they didn't explain the why behind things, and it's their goal to lift them up. They understand if an underperformer is dragging them down or the team down, it's their role as a mentor to get them up to speed. If people aren't doing what they should, then it's the leader's goal and role to articulate what the task is, what the action plan to get them back up to speed is, and they gain every single person's commitment to perform their roles correctly. They also understand that ownership is contagious. When you demand extreme ownership of yourself and other people inside your team, people start to emulate this. They start to emulate you, and it spreads like wildfire throughout your business. And there's no bad teams, only bad leaders. So under the right leadership, any team can thrive. And to ensure that their team works to the highest capacity, a leader makes sure that the focus for the team is on a single-minded goal. Not all the goals, there's a single-minded goal that everything works around. They enforce a high standard, and they understand that it's not what they say, it's what they do that counts. They lift people up and they weed out the people that can't hold the standard. They also become a role model for CANI, which is constant and never-ending improvement. They have a growth mindset. They work on deliberate practice, and they make sure their team does that as well. They understand the power of clarity and belief. That as a leader, you have to fully understand and believe in the goals, understand the project, understand you need to have this before you convince others to do this. You need to help others understand the why behind their tasks. You don't just tell people to dial, you tell people this is why we do our sales calls, this is why we dial multiple times. And if they understand the why behind the decisions that have been made, they put more effort into it, they put more energy into it, they have a different attitude towards it, and they can understand the why behind their task and how that works with every other task on your team. They move forward on common ground together as a team. If they aren't sure why, you need to make sure that you seek further understanding so you can deliver the why behind it and give your team this as well. They manage their egos. This is so crucial. You have to be confident to take on challenges, but not arrogant. Your confidence in yourself and your team's ability should not and cannot cloud your judgment. You have to be humble enough that you're willing to learn. Humble enough that you can understand how to prioritize. You have to put your ego aside and understand a mistake is simply a mistake. You learn and you move forward. Don't take things so far outside your comfort zone. It needs to be a 5 to 10% outside the comfort zone of the team, and keep your arrogance in check and move towards confidence and humility. Then we understand cover and move. So when this is where essentially one team covers while the other moves so they can jointly gain ground. It's about having different teams working together to support one another to move the business forward as a whole. So whether it be helping out the sales team, it's like, hey, let's do some calls together to make sure you guys hit your sales goal so we hit our goal as a club or as a community. It's whether it's less about competing and more about collaboration, working towards the goal of the team together, whether about you helping another coach get better results with their members, so then you can get more members' results inside your community, inside your club. Whatever it is, cover and move is collaboration, not competing inside your team. They keep things simple. This is crucial. Keep your plans simple so they can be easily understood and communicated. If they're complex, there's going to be breakdowns in communication. If it's 3 to 4 things, it's clearly articulated, they're simple, we understand what we need to do today and how that is inclined to push us forward this week And this month, to achieve the goal together, keeping it simple is crucial for success. It stops overwhelm, it stops procrastination, it stops anxiety, and it puts your team into a flow state of success. So if things are simple and they're easily communicated, that means they can also easily be adjusted, and you go down to plan B, C, or D to get to that goal as well. You prioritize and execute. You don't do everything at once. Good leaders understand they look at large problems and they break them down. This is my month goal. I'm breaking it down to small, achievable weekly tasks to move us forward. They prioritize those tasks. This is week 1. This has to be done for the next 7 days. This is week 2. This gets done in days 1 through 14. This is week 3. This is the 3rd week between days 1 to 21. They understand, they allocate the outcomes to specific team members. They give ownership for specific tasks to team members, and they make sure that they have the standard to move the team forward for success. They identify the team's top priority every single week, and they move you forward. Then they have decentralized command. For all of us great leaders, you have to be willing to let go. You can't do it all. You can't wear all the hats. You have to decentralize your command and give ownership to different people on your teams. You give members roles, your team members roles. You create boundaries around those roles. Then you trust them and you give them the freedom to execute as well. Because generally most people can look after about 4 to 6 people below them. And that's it. If you start looking after more than that, you become less effective as a leader and you can't move to your goal fast enough. So if you have more than 4 to 6, create team leaders within your business to move their teams forward and give them the freedom to allow inside their roles and their boundaries to create and execute their own team's tasks. They have sound planning. This is crucial. So they ensure that there's a clear mission that you are going towards this over the next 90 days. It's clearly communicated, and this should guide all other decisions. If something goes bad, we go to point B, point C, point D. As long as we're moving towards our 90-day mission as a company, they explore all the possible ways to achieve the goal with the manpower or the resources that are at hand. They also identify, we use WHOOP, that we talked about in another video. This is our wish, these are the outcomes, these are the obstacles. So they look at the potential roadblocks and obstacles in play and the risks that are involved, and they collaborate together and create a plan to overcome those obstacles with this sound planning so that everyone moves forward. They present this plan and they look at it in a focused manner with their teams so it's all clearly understood, so everyone understands the obstacles, so no one's pushed out of whack when an obstacle could be presented. They debrief what went right, what went wrong, and what they need to improve next time. So they have a critical feedback at the end of the mission and even weekly on the way to achieving their mission. So feedback is crucial with sound planning, and they make the planning a repeatable process. Once we achieve this next 90 days, let's look at the plan and how we did it and how can we repeat it next time. They lead upwards and downwards. So when they're looking at leading down, they have the big picture. And then they break it down to strategic parts with strategic goals. And they help each team member understand how their part is crucial to the end goal. They also lead upwards. So they proactively offer information to the people above them. It helps articulate and understand for them the information that they need on the challenges and achievements that you're having. They don't blame the boss for not communicating clearly to them. They have ownership on their level, and they want to try and give feedback proactively rather than reactively instead. They're also decisive through uncertainty. Adversity, it affects all of us. So uncertainty is definitely going to be there. You understand that no person is perfect. No project will ever be perfect. You need to be prepared to make decisions with the information that you have available. And based on the plan, based on the information you have available, based on the obstacles that you could foresee and the plans you created, you move through uncertainty seamlessly to get to that mission end goal. So rather than waiting for perfect information, you can just start to move forward and take one step every single day. They understand this main one, discipline equals freedom. So top achievers in every field, they have discipline. They understand they must have high standards, and in doing so, high standards will get better results. They understand that the discipline of nutrition equals the freedom of health. They understand the discipline in marketing, sales in business gives essentially the freedom of financial freedom. They understand the discipline of waking up early each day gives you the freedom to get your tasks done on time so you can have more time with your kids. in every aspect of your life. If you can put more discipline in, you'll get more freedom out. And this essentially is the 12 leadership concepts of extreme ownership. If you can deploy them into your life and into your company, you'll move forward faster with less hurdles, less obstacles, and more cohesively so you can get your success faster.